calling all educators with a passion for teaching and a health for faith. Get ready for a transformative journey with the Educators with Oil podcast, where host Ronette Branham is dedicated to helping teachers become better through biblical strategies.
Welcome to Educators with Oil. I am your hostess, Ronette Branham, here to offer biblical strategies, equip, inspire, and pour into educators, especially those of the faith who are walking in their purpose. Whether you're in the classroom, leading in a school, or supporting teachers, this is the place for wisdom, strategies, and a little anointing to keep you going. So let's dive into our conversation. We have a great conversation today, and we are going to be talking about, the title is being that hype man for your students, hyping your students and helping them to take accountability for their own growth. So we have our special guest. We have Alana Renee, who is an expert in this, and she is going to lead us in a discussion about helping our students to grow, helping young people to grow. So with that, welcome, Alana Renee. How are you today, Alana?
I'm fine. Thank you. How are you?
I am great. This is going to be a great episode. I'm excited. I started doing a little bit of research,
Mm-hmm.
and I even worked on it today with my students. We have we oh wait, before I even get into that, let me say so you want to tell us a little bit about yourself? See, I'm ready to talk. I told you that.
We could talk.
Tell us a little bit
So
about yourself.
hi, my name is Elena, and I am the founder of Junior Bright Scholars Institute, and I'm here today because Ronette asked me to come and chat with her listeners, to talk a little bit about what I do at Junior Bright Scholars Institute and why I feel so passionately about it, and maybe even answer whatever kind of questions you guys may have. So that is about, yeah, I feel like that's what I wanted to say. Yeah,
Okay, so you said Junior Bright Scholars Institute.
yeah, yeah.
What is that? Because I looked I looked it up, and that's how I found you. But what is that?
So Junior Bright Scholars is just it's a name that I created because what I started to see in the 2009-10 frame was that there were a lot of very smart students coming up, a lot of them. And I was seeing that the students did not need to really wait until they graduated high school for them to become great, if only they were being given opportunities while they were still juniors.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I created Junior Bright Scholars Institute to encourage young people to go ahead and use whatever talents they have to create success for themselves, to identify the path to their educational requirements, and also to leverage those things that are free, that were becoming free around them, and use those skills to make their own lives, to create self-sufficiency for themselves, and to be the best people they could be. So that's why I created it. Junior Bright Scholars really is about self-help for a young person, in an age where there's not a lot of help coming from people. You need to Google everything.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds like a great idea. Because sometimes you look at kids, and you remember I remember when I was young, I felt kind of lost. There was nobody like pushing me. I did everything that I wanted to do because of, it was in me to do, but I took longer. I took longer. The only thing that I didn't take long was graduating high school. And I did that because I had a child. I'm like, how you gonna do that? You got a child, you didn't graduate high school like that. But
Right.
yeah, that's something interesting. I'm gonna go back to what I talked about my students this morning. I teach second grade, so it's a little different. But
Hmm.
they're never too young to start um, building that self confidence and that self worth. So it was
Hmm.
more so self worth. So we have social emotional learning in the morning time. Like I do it when I first get in. But we watched this video. It had Shrek on it, and Shrek was saying people call him ugly and ogre and a monster, and inside he didn't feel like that. Somebody had to speak to him and told him that he is who he wants to be, and who he feels he is. And so I had students this morning talking about what they want to say to themselves regardless of what anyone else says. So then I got the bright idea. I had a mirror, and I started talking to myself in the mirror, and I was like, you are great, you are wonderful, you are bright, you are brilliant, right? And so they were laughing, but I was saying, but this is what you do. So I said, when you look in the mirror, who do you see? And I said, do you see this? I was naming kids. They said, no, they see themselves. And I let them look in the mirror, and they didn't see anybody but themselves. And I gave them, asked them, what do they want to say to themselves? So some were shy. They were like, you're beautiful. And they would look off. Or you're wonderful. And they would look off. I said, but are you talking to you? Or are you talking to up there? So the ones who were, able to do it without being too shy, because some people, you just can't do, just post something like that and everybody's ready. Right.
Right.
Sometimes I'm like that in the mirror when I'm trying to talk to myself, and I get like, yeah, but nah. So I get it. So I had them to do that this morning, and they were excited. They were happy. And I said, you don't have to do it in front of the classroom if you don't. When you get in the mirror in your bathroom, speak to yourself. Be ready for school that way. So that I thought of you when I did that. So that's
Yeah, that's exactly right. See, this is, and I'm just going to be straightforward with you. This is not as difficult as we're making it. All we got to do is help our children to understand what they need to be sure of. There's a couple of things you need to know, and they're not hard things. You are connected to the universe, and you do get a verse. You get to say what you want to say in this life. And so I think that it doesn't matter, even right now, before I started speaking to you, I was telling you I lost my outline for a course. That's a course that I'm now writing for 9 to 12-year-olds, so that I can just start bringing this down lower and lower. I told you, I started working with children in the high school age. And in high school, freshmen, they're just trying to become upperclassmen. And they are interested in getting out of school. They are ready to go. So I dropped down 6, 7, and 8. And there was so much enthusiasm in the 6th, 7th, and 8th grades. More in the 6th and 7th, less in the 8th, depending on the experience of the child, right? So now I have another group of people coming to me saying, can we teach the 9 to the 12-year-olds what you've been teaching the 6th to the 7th graders? And so what I'm seeing is exactly what you've shared with your students, right? It's as simple as knowing who you are and reminding yourself that, and not in front of other people. That can be something you can do in the privacy of your own bathroom while you're in there brushing your teeth, kissing yourself and brushing your teeth. Like, those are the things that kids can do to encourage themselves. And like you said, get to school and know what their purpose is and find out, what they need to do. So I applaud you for that, because I'm sure they enjoy looking at
It
themselves.
was so much fun. But then, through it, I realized, wait, this is personal. So you don't have to be shy. You don't have to. Some kids, some students like to be the limelight. They like it. And then it was fun for them. And so even the ones who were shy, it was fun for them because they would smile when somebody else said what they said to themselves. And so you want to tell us a little bit more, dig deeper, like students, you said not every student has a trusted advisor. So I want it to be, by the time we leave here today, a teacher knows how this applies to us in our personal lives, in the classroom, just in our everyday, all around, because we want to be effective teachers. How does this work for us? So you want to break it down a little bit more, what it is that you do with the students, and then how does it affect educators outside of your program, or as we understand your program.
So, if you will, the Concealed Weapons Experience, which is the title of the program the Junior Bright Scholars Institute provides, it is a program that's a little different because it requires your students to mature themselves. It requires your students to challenge themselves. It requires your students to mature all by themselves. So we don't have the luxury, if we don't have a trusted advisor who has the patience and the aptitude and the time to coach us on every single thing. What we're finding is that if you don't have that kind of coach, you may miss out on opportunities that can hold you back for life.
Yeah.
Right? These are for lives. So when you break the law and you can't vote for life, when you break some kind of binding agreement with some federal agency that has all the rules and you have all the responsibility, you can find yourself unable to get funding for school for life. And so, what we want to do through Junior Bright Scholars is I want students to start to own responsibility for their own maturity. We don't have the time, and we don't have, as teachers, we don't have the time to nurture them in that way. And oftentimes, by the time children are in the sixth grade, they think they're grown anyway.
Yeah.
And so we can start to call upon them as teachers to be grown, to act
Mhm.
more maturely, to hold
Mhm.
themselves accountable for the things that they do. We don't have to constantly remind them they have homework. That's a
Yeah.
mature, person's responsibility, and we can hold them to that. And so what I find is that when we put more of the onus on a child to take responsibility for their own for their own actions, it can help you with the management in your classroom. You're not spending so much time, Johnny this and Hakeem that, and I said sit down and go back to your desk and give me your phone. You're not in that mode all the time because you've already established some ground rules with your class. And so what the concealed weapons experience does is it helps us to, one, it takes our students through a map of the mind and the central and paracentral nervous system to help students to really understand what they're working with. Like the body is a computer, you are an electrical functioning thing. And so what we do is we walk through the functions of the brain and how our connections are all made within the body. And all of that is coming into the head. And so
Mhm.
if your brain works and your um, mouse and other devices work, then that makes you a potential star pupil. As
Yeah.
long as
Oh,
these
that's
things
cool.
work, that makes you a potential for a star pupil. And so once we start with, are you a star pupil? Have you star pupil potential or not? Then we can start to ask students, you said you have star potential. I want to see your potential. I want to see it rise every day. And I expect for you to come to me when you have something you can't handle on your own. And that way I can focus on helping you with the things that you really need help with and not the baby stuff because the baby days are done. But when you
Ah,
bring the program into, when you introduce
yeah.
a shared responsibility with your teachers, it falls less on my teacher to be the boss.
Yeah.
It falls more on the student to take responsibility for being the boss of themselves and modeling that behavior for other students in the classroom. And then that allows the teacher just to become the praise artist. You just praising all day.
All
Very
day.
good. That was a great answer. That's the answer I'm looking for from you. Like then now you can speak with authority to their own growth and development. And this is how the concealed weapons program works. Is because concealed weapons aren't guns. They aren't
Yeah.
knives.
Mhm.
They're thoughts, their attitudes, their characteristics, their personal strengths. That's why they're concealed weapons because you
Yeah.
can't see them. And
Yeah.
so we teach children how to use the weapons that they have inside of them, the spiritual weapons around them. And that's why we also go through a connection, universal connection workshop with them so that they know that, yes, we are connected to the United States and we're connected to this family, my family, and we're connected to you're connected to your family. And then we're connected by community, and then we're connected by country and state and so forth. But on a higher level, we're
Mhm.
connected universally. And our students need to understand that they belong. not because of my family or my
Yeah.
friends or my connection. I
Mhm.
belong because the universe says so. And so we
Absolutely.
can introduce them and get them to a sense of belonging that goes beyond discrimination, that reaches outside of human limitations, right? We're starting to give them the power to say where their own destiny will take them. And I think we got to start it in the sixth grade. I think
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
in the
we
sixth
have a
grade.
program. It's not yours, but it's that leadership. Um, they're not paying me for it, so I'm not saying what the name of. I'm just saying. I heard a little girl say that. I heard a little girl say that. They're not paying me to
Me, so I'm not gonna say the
advertise.
name.
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not doing it. No, but really, we have something that we start. You teach them how to be leaders and how to be leaders in the school, in their classroom, and be, work on, like you're saying, their own mind and take responsibility for them own their own selves. And like I said, you say six. I teach second grade, and we're teaching that, and we talk about that. The more we talk about it, the more their mindset will change. They will have the mentality that I matter, that what I do matters, and I love that. You sound like you got something there. Because I'm receptive right here, just knowing that you're out there.
Mhm.
You don't have to be out there, but you know what I mean. Just because you're out there working on this, because when I can't remember, people always ask. You go to different workshops, different things, and they ask, "Do you remember this great teacher you had?" I don't have that memory. I really
Mhm.
don't. I can remember my teachers, but I don't
Wow.
have a memory as this was a great teacher. They took time for me. I don't remember that. Like I have that memory is out of my mind. If somebody was like that, only one teacher, he thought of me when the big brother, big sisters came to my classroom. He thought of
Right.
me.
Right.
I maybe I'll do that. If they say this great teacher, but I wasn't even nice to that teacher. I was in second grade. I wasn't even nice to him. It just wasn't. It just wasn't like I don't know why. Right? I don't even know why. But he thought of me. I guess he thought I was needy. That's why I was acting out. Probably. But he thought of me. But I don't have that teacher that took time for me. I don't have those memories. So this is something I believe is awesome. And it can start early
Yeah.
because our little kids can take responsibility. I'm going to say one more thing, and I'm going to let you talk. My niece came over here. She's 18 months. She turned 18 months today. I know
Mhm.
that just 18 months today, right? She came into my house. She looked on my coffee table. I had a bunch of stuff on the coffee table. She was like, "No, no, 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 no." Right? And I said, "No, right, you're right. Don't touch that stuff." Then she looked around really good and she found stuff she could touch. She was like, "Yes, yes, yes." So she's 18 months and she knows to take responsibility. I can't touch that, but I can touch this. And she's 18 months. So she understood that. So that can go down. I know it could be in second grade. Like, I love what you're doing. This is exciting to me.
Wow.
Yeah. I have a
Yeah.
story for everything.
No, it's never too young, right? But not
Right.
every child has a trusted advisor. Not every
Right.
child's going to be fortunate enough. And we can't afford to lose any more of our babies.
No.
We have to teach them to stand on their own 2 feet. And so when I go into the classroom, I go as an auntie. You can call me Auntie Elena or you can call
Mm-hmm.
me Miss Elena. Now, if we auntie, that makes us family. But if you call
Mm-hmm.
an auntie rules, auntie rules. But if you call me Miss Elena, then we can have a discussion like two people having a discussion.
Mm-hmm.
So I give them the choice. You choose. You want family or do you want a teacher or do you want a guidance counselor? What role do I need to play so you can show me the level of maturity? Because I don't agree that children should be stuck in school until 12 years if they can make money in the 10th grade. If they are
Yeah.
self-sufficient in the ninth grade, we should be able to test them out. Children should be able
Oh.
to test out.
Mm-hmm. I
I'm
never
not
thought of
saying,
that. But
go ahead, I'm sorry.
I never thought of that. I never thought of that at all.
You're
I
holding
do know
children
people
back.
who do. I know, yeah, because there's his name is Harris. His last name is Harris. I can't. Caden Harris. He's 13. He graduated. He graduated high school. He tours the country teaching financial literacy. He's 13 years old. He has a tour bus. Like he has been to the White House. He has been on Good Morning America. He's in one of my groups that I'm in. And he is a speaker. He's 13. He's not in school anymore. He graduated high school with he got his high school diploma. He walked. He walked. He took a month to walk until
Right.
he could walk with everybody. But
Right.
no, this is exciting. You're right. I never thought of it. I just thought he was just something special, but he's a regular person. You know what I
But
mean?
yeah. But think about where we are right now, 2025. There's a little boy who's graduated with his Mensa. He's like 4. And then there's all these little children who are 5 and 6 who can play concert pianist or
Mm-hmm.
instruments so well. And there's a little mathematician little boy. He's 2 years old, math with Devin, and he'll do you the square root of what some ridiculous number. What I'm
Oh yeah.
suggesting, right? So what I'm
Uh-huh.
suggesting is that parents are being gifted some extraordinary kids. They really are. And if they don't have the time to notice that the child has capabilities, that child will act out in other ways. And a lot of
Yeah.
that's ending up in the school. And
Mm-hmm.
teachers don't have the time to fix that. So what we can do is we can ask students to mature themselves and come to us when they need our help, not when we want to tell them something, but when we can be of service to them. And in that way, we'll mature our children a lot faster. They want to be dealt with in a different way. The cognitive capabilities of children these days is different from the
Mm-hmm.
cognitive ability of a child 20 or 30 years ago. Certainly not as far back as come from. And I'm an old lady, right? So there are some opportunities that we have in our communities, and I just want to see us capitalize on them. And I think we could do that by inviting our children to show us their maturity, embrace,
Yeah.
empowering their own levels of maturity so that they will grow all by themselves. This is self directed maturity. I'm not telling them what's right or wrong. I'm, I'm holding them to a level of understanding that if you have capability, then it is on you to build that capability. And you have every right to ask every teacher in this building to build it and help you build what you see as your level or plan to success. So we're doing individual development plans for children that should include growth and maturity lessons. And um, I think children, well, actually, the children that I teach,
Uh-huh.
they are embracing this idea.
Oh,
They don't
nice.
want to
Is it?
be told. They don't want to be told what the rules are. They want to engage in what matters to them as well. So in my mind, my program. Let me not get too far off because I do
Uh-huh.
want to talk about what the concealed weapons experience does. We require you to do the research. We require you to practice. A lot of times, my program is about how to practice being effective in your speaking, how to resolve conflict in real time, not tomorrow, in
Uh-huh.
real time, how to be effective in the communication with an adult or some other person who you may have an unbalanced relationship with. These are the things our children need to know. I don't
Yeah.
teach our children a sense of fear. And in fact, I try to move them away from a sense of fear. But all of that energy inside of them, it still needs to go somewhere. And so we start to try to help them to look at hobbies, capabilities that they have, look at other means. Sports, a lot of time for boys will work. Glamour for girls. We have to be careful with the glamour for the girls, but we know how to teach a lady to be a lady, right? So we
Mm-hmm.
can help them with that. And we have etiquette for both the girls and the boys in the program. So the real crux of this is to use Junior Bright Scholars to build connection, to leverage the children's wisdom, and give them a sense of personal excellence, and that personal excellence is within their grasp. It's something they
Yeah.
can reach out and take all by themselves. And then we, as teachers, we will support them. We won't doubt them. We will enable them to graduate with honors, even if they graduate at 13 years old. And we will
Yo,
encourage them to skip college and go straight for the trade or manufacturing, engineering or certification or whatever kind of security profiles whatever they want to do. So,
yeah.
because that's why this program works, because it doesn't limit us. It doesn't limit a child to what we think is the next right thing. We take time to sit down and let them look around themselves and identify and discover their own strengths and their own talents. And then we throw some
You-
self-assessment in there and let them look at
okay.
themselves personally, because the program it doesn't grade students.
Hmm.
Um, Success of this program is measured by effort and demonstrated maturity improvement, behavioral improvements, um, the ability to speak to people in a tone that captures their attention, right? You know, when you're screaming, people don't want to hear you, right? But when you are a 7 or a 12 or a 14-year-old and you talk to somebody like you got a whole bunch of sense,
Yeah.
people will stop and listen to you. And that's the essence of what we're trying to teach. That the ability to succeed is within all of us, so long as we have some working, functioning computer tools and devices. And so I think that helps. When I'm with the students, it creates, and when teachers do this out of love and out of
Hmm.
um, a spiritual offering. It's almost a
Hmm.
spiritual offering to bring it home to your podcast. That's why I was so excited to talk with you, is because this is not the standard sit them in the classroom and do this. This is a switch around and a switcheroo. But when you teach this course with passion and intent, students light up. Students light up. And that's why I'm
Yeah.
so passionate about it myself. Because, here's what I know. And I haven't been 12 for a long time. But I remember being 12. And I remember saying, my life is not going to be like this. I'm going to have a better life. Now, I didn't say how. I didn't say
Yeah.
when.
Yeah.
I didn't say
Uh,
who. I didn't say what. But what I know is that when I was 12, I made a decision. I'm not going to live like this. When I get big, I'm not living like this. And if we
oh,
could
that's
stick that
nice.
into people's minds and put that in
Hmm.
children's minds, the clues will come. God will support us. The universe will support us in our decision making. But we got to mature out. We've got to use our own logic. And I'm ready to teach children as young as they your 2 year olds or your second graders. You're doing it,
Hmm.
you know. I'm ready
Yeah.
to teach them. Here's my reason for being so passionate is because
Hmm.
the hood is full of geniuses.
Yeah. Really.
And because they're not getting the right attention, or they're getting the right attention from the wrong people, their genius is being diminished, it's being overlooked. And so I'm going to try to, as much as I can, as long as there is a will from my provider. I got a provider in high places, and he makes sure I'm always provided for.
Hmm.
And as long as I have breath to breathe it, I'm going to make sure that as many children know that they're provided for by the universe as well. I'm going to make sure that they know that, so that when they're making decisions that can impact their lives, they know they also have options. That's an important component of this program too, because it's a solution oriented program. There
Hmm.
is no room for, oh, I can't. There's just no room for that. Here's some
Oh,
potential opportunities, here's some options that I might do, but there's always going to be a choice. And I'm trying to encourage children to always be prepared in real time to think of solutions.
oh, nice. So many things came to mind. One thing I'm going to say is we had an officer on here. He's a director of security at a school system in New Jersey, and
Mm-hmm.
he came on here and he says, I don't know if he said it on the show, but he said it to me when I met him, or because he's a part of a group of mine, and he came on here and he said, I know he can't say it on here. He said there's always 41 solutions, 41 options. That's what he said. I don't know where he get 41 from, but he said there's always 41 options. So we think, okay, it's yes or no, or this or that. There's 41 things you can do. He's talking about like if an officer is going into a building with somebody armed. But in general, he's like, he gave out 41. And 41, there's 41. And so I'm like, that's something to think about, because we think this or that always. And so also I thought about, when you said that, I thought about that emotional intelligence, teaching emotional intelligence at a younger age, because um, I have had kids who will pout. And I'm like, wait, what are we doing here? We're not home. I'm not your mom. You're going to pout? We're not doing that. We're not doing that. And then also I'm thinking about students that I have had. I always say that I had in the past. I don't want to say now only parents getting upset. In the past, where I really don't know what to do with them. Less, it's 3 kids at a time. Like in a whole group. No, this is not working. I'm trying to talk, and no, they need to learn a different way. I had students who they couldn't get the math that we were teaching. And then when I had manipulatives, they were blowing it out of the water. They were just mastering the math because their hands were in it. And it wasn't just a foreign concept. So this sounds like knowing who you are, how you learn, what it is you want to learn, because not everybody wants to know how to multiply. You need to know how to multiply, but might not want to know how to do that right then. So this sounds like a personalized, even though you teach them how to take ownership, but it's a personalized general platform to me. I don't know how else to I love it, like, because I need this in my classroom. I mean, we're doing the SEL, but
Mm-hmm.
as far as my individual students, how they learn and how I can allow them to learn on their own what it is they need to learn, that's something different. Yeah, because I sometimes don't know what to do. Oh, you don't get it? Well, I don't know. Like, you gotta wait. I see you in a little while. Give me 15 minutes. But then what are they gonna be doing? That kind of stuff. But if they can take ownership, I like that.
Well, and ownership means practice. That's why so much of our class time is spent practicing how to. How do you advocate for yourself? You can't advocate for yourself screaming and crying, right? So if
Yeah.
there's no adult in the room, baby, you're going to have to be the adult in the room. If there's no trusted advisor for you to protect your interests, then you're going to have the strength. And you do have the strength because, like I said, the hood is full of geniuses. Our children are not afraid.
Yeah.
We just got to teach them how to be effective using their lack of fear. They don't have fear. So we got to just show them how to be effective using the tools they do have. And I know that the word is a powerful thing. Just show them how to do it. And I'm
Yeah.
not saying you're not going to have a little bunch of smart mouths, but I'd rather see a bunch of smart mouth kids doing what they need to do than a
Yeah.
bunch of babies crying, I don't know why, I don't know, I don't know. Right? So
Yeah.
it does take off of from a teaching perspective. It puts the teacher in an opposite role as more of a supportive role and puts the students first in the classroom, because what they do naturally as a result of the way the program is taught, they start to support each other. They become
Yeah.
It becomes a peer-based teaching opportunity. This one can do it, and so they stand for it and model it for the other. Just like some of your students this morning were more comfortable getting up and doing the
Hmm.
exercise you asked them, and there were others who were less likely to look in the mirror and have that level of confidence. And so it becomes a peer-to-peer exchange because now I know I saw her do it. And if
Yeah.
she can do it, I can do it. And so
Mm-hmm.
tomorrow, when you do it with the students, or when the next time you do it with the students, you'll be able to see in real time who has improved in their ability to be confident in themselves. And then that's just
Yeah.
the opportunity for the teacher to say, wow, that was really an improvement from last time. Last time you were all over here, but now look, you're all in the mirror. Good for you. And that
Yeah.
sticks with
That.
the child. Go ahead, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
I like that. I really do. I
I
can
love.
appreciate this really because my wheels are turning with my students.
Mhm,
And so this is something I know we won't be experts based off of this, but
mhm,
we have another tool that we can use, even if I get one strategy or one idea from it. And because this helps us help our students. Like I know you said it, but my wheels are turning. We're going to take responsibility. If you don't, I had a student who used to come, he would walk up to me and in my inside I'm like laughing, like I'm trying to hold myself together because I don't want to push him and say what I think he wants. He'll come to me with his book, or he'll just walk up to me. I don't know what he wants. I might have an idea, but I don't. So I try to get him to talk. Well, what do you need, sir? And then he'll just look and then, well, what do you need? So when you figure it out, you come back because I'm going to help these students. But when they learn, okay, I'm going to be assertive and say what I want. I'm not going to be shy because she's going to help me. It's not like she's going to ever tell me I'm not going to help you, you know, unless they didn't try. Like we're going to try it first. But uh, it's just something that this will help me. So I won't have all these students standing in a line. Because once that child stands in the line, stands next to me for help, I promise you, you're gonna be five students behind them, and they don't need help. They just, I don't
mhm. Want
know. I
attention
see.
too. Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, because that happens, and I'm like, okay, now wait a minute. I'm working with this group. Can you come back? But yeah, this is exciting. This is just really.
Yeah, the thing about that too is that you share, so you get your little model students, they start realizing they can be the model student, right?
Yeah.
The
Oh yeah,
confident
yeah.
child starts, so hey, confident child, can you help less confident child here? You know, give her a
Mhm.
chance. Show her how you do it. You're building confidence, you're building communication, you're helping students to exchange with one another and communicate better with each other. So that the one child, Miss Confident, she's ready to tell everybody, right? And that gives her a sense of pride in her confidence.
Yeah.
And little Miss not so confident, she's like, well, little Miss Confident can do it, so I can too. Let me
Mhm.
just try. And the encouragement she gets from Miss Confident is almost
Mhm.
better than the encouragement she'll get from you, the teacher. Do you know what I mean? This
Yeah,
is a
that peer
way
to peer.
of switching the teaching roles, not necessarily in reverse, but more moving them together as something that goes along together, not you follow me, right? It's more of
Yeah.
a let's go together. And what you don't know, I'll show you. And what I don't know, you tell me. And when you tell me a new idea, I'm going to be open enough as a person who doesn't know what the future holds to think maybe you might know a little bit more about what your future holds than me. I'm just going to be an open minded teacher. But if you tell me
Yeah.
something crazy now we got to talk, So there's
Yeah,
ways to
yeah.
teach this course so that your students, one, help you teach a class without having to be a mommy in the classroom, and two, so that the students start to feel a sense of camaraderie of helping each other. We're all in this class together for a reason, right? We're here to help each
Yeah.
other. I'm not here to teach you anything. Probably what I'm going to teach you, you probably know a lot of it already. So I'm going to give you the fine details and we're going to work through these challenges together. And students are more in my experience, and I've been working with them since 2012 or 13. I started teaching this course.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And yeah, and you find them. They're shy at first, and next thing you know, they're little chatterboxes. you know, so um, that's what we want. We want them to take control of their learning. We want them to build their own confidence. We want them to be their own hype man, their own researcher. And when they come to their teachers, they can have the confidence of feeling like um, um, it's a shared experience. It's not this, I got to go to school. No, I need to get something from the people at the school. Let me run the school so I can get what I need from them, is a more
Mhm.
of an approach. And I think it makes it easier, not only for the students to participate in their own growth and development, but it makes it easier for teachers to focus on the good things that they're doing, because now you've put a lot of onus on them. And now you can just watch them make improvements. And I assure you, the littlest, wow, that's better than last week. The littlest,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
wow, I see that. I see you. That's great. You know what? Last time we were here, you didn't do this. What's going on with you? Kind of encouraging them to, man, this is a 360 or 180, whatever it is. It makes it easier for us to complement the work that our children are doing, like we really see them. That's the problem
Yeah.
I think is happening. So children don't feel seen. They feel like they're being passed around and served around, passed around and served around. And what they really want is to be seen. They want their voices to be heard. That's why we take so much time in my course to talk about the
Mhm.
tone of your voice, the volume of your voice, the words you choose to express yourself. And how you do that in real time matters, because when you want somebody to shut up and leave you alone, that's
Mhm.
not about screaming.
No, absolutely.
That's about
Oh,
saying, I need you to be quiet. I need a moment. And then
that,
being able to control yourself. Because I do teach my students, self control is a beautiful thing. It doesn't mean I get any less angry. It doesn't mean I get any less frustrated. It just means that I can manage my emotions to make my point, and you should be able to do that too. And that's no matter how young or how old you are. I mean, I don't think we should be teaching that to babies, but we start in the
yeah.
sixth grade with the CWE. So
Yeah,
by
yeah.
sixth grade, you need to be able to advocate for yourself. You need to
Uh-huh.
be able to stand your ground, and you be able to speak to someone who may be bullying you, or um, or who may be threatening you. And you don't have to go for bad. This is not about teaching children to fight with their hands. This is about
Yeah.
teaching children to fight with their minds, with their words. And I think that goes a long way. It goes a long way.
Yeah. This is, we come up, we have program after program, different times, different years. People come in with their programs about social emotional. But this sounds like more like finding that authentic you, that who you really are, and this is what I want in life, and this is what I'm going to go after. It doesn't sound like that. I'm having issues, I need to talk. um I don't know how to express my anger. It doesn't even sound like that. It sounds like finding that authentic you. When you get quiet and there's nobody but you, finding who that person is. That's what I hear. I don't know if that's a
That
part
is
of
it.
it, but
That's a
that's
lot of
exactly
it.
what I hear. Yeah.
That's why we teach you to do the self practice. These are all I on Teachers Pay Teachers, to your listeners. These are free resources that are available to you right from the Junior Bright Scholar store on Teachers Pay Teachers. You're welcome to download these tools. But what they are self practice activities. They take 5 minutes, or at home you assign them as homework. They take 20 minutes. But what they are meditative re, re, re reinforcing self and self-soothing meditations. They are also practices for listening to music, to spend 5 minutes exercising the body, um, making the connections between family members, practicing forgiveness, practicing sharing and growth and looking for ways to be of service to the family. So there's a whole list of activities. These are all self-practice activities that we help children to utilize for themselves. It's for yourself, baby. You practice your mirror mantra when you're brushing your teeth at night, not for
Mm-hmm.
me. That's for
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
told him today.
That's for
It's for
you.
you.
You say your
Yeah.
prayers at night, whether anybody else says theirs or not. That is for
Uh-huh.
you. That's for
Yeah.
you. And so I'm not teaching a spirit, I mean, I'm not teaching a religious program because I don't
Yeah.
think that's what our children need. But they
Right.
must be connected spiritually to the universe. And if they
Mm-hmm.
don't know that they're connected on purpose, they may think their connection is a mistake. And that's
Yeah.
why I spend time making sure that they understand that beyond the government, beyond our state and capital, beyond our constitution, there is a universe, and we do all belong to it. And each of us is going to have a verse. That's why we are here. It's up to us to find it and then go ahead and sing your verse.
Yeah. Oh, I like that.
You don't
Yeah.
need
I I I you see this teachers pay teachers down there.
oh yeah, teachers
Yeah.
pay teachers. I
But
do see it.
yeah,
I
right
see
down
it.
under me right now. That's
There are
the
a
one
number of free
though.
resources there. This is this
Yeah.
this is a part of what we have to do is we have to give students something. We've been taking a lot from students. We've been demanding a lot from our students. We have been putting a lot of work on them. What
Yeah.
Junior Bright Scholars Institute is trying to do is to give your students something. Something that doesn't
Okay.
cost them nothing. And it in fact is absolutely for them. That they can see it's for them. And these
Mm-hmm.
are resources that they can take home and practice it within themselves. These are assessments that they can do by themselves. And
Okay.
you can assign them. I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I apologize. I was thinking about your high school. You said since 2012 you had this program.
Hmm. Hmm.
So do you see students who've graduated high school? Do you see them and the
Some of them.
people who they
Mhm.
are?
Yes. Some of my students have graduated college.
Oh, okay.
I told you,
And
this
do
is I'm
you
an
see
old
like
lady now.
do you see them like when I say them like you see them like who they are and they are because of they learned these ideals when they were younger. Do you see that? That's so cool, right? When you go back and say, "Oh, they learned that. They know who they are and they know what they want." And I love that. So,
When they call
I
me, when they call me, Miss
oh,
Elaine,
really?
Miss Elaine, I just wanted to tell you something. What you did for me.
Yeah. This is good. You just did
Baby, I
something for
didn't
me.
do
I don't know
anything for
about
you.
everybody else. Yeah, you just
I didn't do it. You did it for
because
yourself. You did it for yourself. But thank you for listening to me. And
yeah,
thank you for trusting me.
absolutely.
Mhm.
But you
Thanks for
gave me some
trusting me.
tools. You did.
Hmm.
You gave me
Yeah.
something to
Hmm.
think about
Yeah.
to in order to go back into the classroom tomorrow. And so I'm not gonna it's not gonna hold. I know I asked everybody this and I forget to tell them beforehand, but you gave us a lot to think about. So can
Okay.
you sum that up like in a few points, a few strategies? I know when we want you, we can go to teachers pay teachers, but something I can take home today and I can think about for tomorrow in the classroom. Tomorrow's Wednesday.
So for today, I would say that there's a different way to teach your class, right? And if there's anything you could take away from what we've talked about today, is to teach your class like you're not the smartest person in the room anymore.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even though you are the smartest person in the room, and we all know
Uh
that.
huh.
But we want to share some of the smartness from now on. Start to share what smartness looks like in your students, and then start to recognize when they act smarter, right?
Yeah. Uh
So
huh.
you got a baseline. You're very easy. It's a very easy to get a baseline of everybody through some
Mm-hmm.
activity that you might do with them. We have a etiquette um, resource on Teachers Pay Teachers. You could do the etiquette class with them and have them practice holding the chair for the girl, waiting until the lady is seated, which fork, which knife, hands on shoulders, what social media etiquette is like. You could spend time doing that to get a baseline of where your students are. So, from having a baseline, start to think about how you can share the responsibility for teaching by imploring your students and challenging them to be more mature, to share more of what they've got. In your so you can step back and get to the real teaching pieces
Sure,
of it.
what they've got. Sorry. Yeah, I will go and look at that etiquette and see to have a baseline, because we really have a baseline already, where our students are, but to put that in action, that's an idea. So that's just like checking, checking to see who knows what letters. We already have that idea, and then how can we teach from that? So I
Right.
got that. I appreciate you. I really do, and I appreciate all of our listeners and our commenters. This is awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. This is somebody, Zenaida. She is here week after week. Um, she's enjoying, she's learning and enjoying the
Yes, Anaya.
conversations that we have. But she is you talk about a hype person. She is helping me, say, oh yeah, I got this. Somebody is gaining something from what I'm trying to do. So I appreciate
Mm-hmm.
Adrian, everybody who's here, who's listening. I'm looking at the comments. So sometimes I don't know who's here. Just so happen I know they're here. But
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate, and I appreciate you answering the call, because not only the call to come on the show, but the call that what you're doing. We already know we have gifts and talents, and they are useless unless we use them. We offer that to somebody. We're serving somebody. So I appreciate you. I really do. Thank you, Elena. I don't know what else to say except thank you, everybody, for tuning in to Educators with Oil. And we had some true oil today. Really, we're not teaching. We're not telling you to go to school and lay hands on people. But we are telling you to walk in it, walk in your gift, and we're gonna see some changes around here. We're gonna see some changes, and I appreciate you. Uh, Thank you, and have a great day.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Subscribe to Educators with Oil podcast on your preferred platform and join Ronette on this mission to empower teachers through the wisdom of the Bible. Because when biblical strategies meet the classroom, extraordinary teaching happens.
Educators, let's shine a light on our classrooms. See you on Educators with Oil podcast, where teaching and faith unite.
Yay.